It's your boy Jimmy.
Now what's worth doing is worth doing for money.
Straight from y'all street to Wall Street.
Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil, doesn't make up happen.
Dudes wake up, hope their girl turned on so they can get a little bit. Only woman in the morning I want to turn on this Becky quick. While the average man looking at it's sad like she fine as it. I'm over here looking at tails and whips like 5'6". I left the mayhem for the market. Now I don't want a dope spot, I want a stock pick. I know that booty got dry, triggered my stop losses, but I ain't got time for your wop. My V-Wops crossing. Rich with hot V's and pushing hot keys. Strategy and plans to make grand. Still in my wife beater. Batman pajamas, outside, and about 5 hot picks for the day. Cause I like the way the Dow bounce. 4 hot dips on call, so I got options. 2 with a lot of volume, 1 with a double bottle. Now I know dumb money don't understand. Am I talking about my trade or just thinking with my MACD? You see, we different in the way we move. You move with kittens and your dog, I move with bears and bulls. I got a green thumb, grow with the marijuana. Waking up with the fun, open up some commas. Jump out of bed, big profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, big profits. Light up, watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my same making profits. They used to watch me move them packs and stop. Now I watch moves in the NASDAQ profits. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETFs, make profits. I jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profits. Light up, watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my same making profits. See, me and Jim Cramer been talking mad money. Said today I'm taking a risk. They got the feds coming, but I got support here with me. I call a short squeeze. You get the drop, she pull the trigger and abort these. If she stay on my watch list, I might have to wife her. But I know better. I'm a true trading group lifer. Call up the Wolf of Weed Street. It's time to flip some profits. Go ahead, be hawking. Get your spot here. I'll double top that in the head and shoulders. Hit him up with this resistance. Watch him roll over. Cause I see John Wicks in contract. If I say I make $1 million a day, well, that's a large cap. You moving average, that's why you get crossed. Get split, get delisted, and knocked off. And I'm setting the whole block off. I'm buying GameStop and selling them roadblocks off. Jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profits. Light up, watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my same making profits. They used to watch me move them packs and stop. Now I watch moves in the NASDAQ profits. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETFs. Hey, my family. Hey, go, what we doing, my man? Hey, make profits. Hey, Shug, Mike, what we doing? Hey, make profits. Yo, Wolf, Professor, what we doing? Hey, make profits. That TTG money gang, hey, we some snipers.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? What's going on, folks? Welcome to the True Trading Group live stream. I am thrilled to have each and every single one of you here with me this evening because, in case you haven't noticed, the stock market's at all-time highs. Nuclear energy stocks are having massive short squeezes. Quantum computing stocks are having massive short squeezes. It seems like every single place that you look in this market is giving you amazing money-making opportunities. Last week was a huge week. It was a huge week. We caught OKLO long. We caught NNE long. We caught SMR long. We caught Palantir long. Okay, it was a really big week for us last week. But I think this week could be even bigger because we have a laundry list of almost every single Fed member is going to be giving some type of a speech or discussion this week. This comes right after the Fed just gave us a 25 basis point rate cut. And now we get to look forward to PCE inflation data on Friday. Okay? On Friday. All right? I want everyone to really understand what they're missing out on if you guys are still sitting on the sidelines. Now, if you guys are here with us this evening, I'm glad to have you all here. I'm going to talk to you and walk you through literally everything that I plan on doing here this week. Okay. I'm going to give you a list of stocks that I have on my notebook. I'm going to go over with you positions I'm already in, positions I plan on getting into, exact ticker symbols with price points, entry points, the whole nine. I'm giving it to you all. Okay. Now, before I get into all that, let me just kind of welcome everyone. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Michael Edward Parinati. I go by Michael Edward. I'm the co-founder and the head trader at True Trading Group. I'm thrilled to have you guys with us tonight. TTG literally exists to help you learn faster, trade smarter, and profit sooner. That's what we're going to do here tonight. I want to thank our partners. We're very proud to be powered by the NASDAQ, Benzinga, OpenAI, TradingView, DataBento, and Unusual Whales. You guys see, True Trading Group is a fintech platform. We are not just a chat room with courses and trade alerts. TTG actually received the 2024 Benzinga FinTech Award for Best AI Analysis Tool. This is a platform that's built on education, that's backed by experience, strategies that are proven with success, and tools that actually think all customized to you, the individual user. No matter who you are, no matter how much money you have, no matter how much experience you have, no matter what it is that you trade, TTG exists to help you guys to make money, to level that playing field, to give you an edge and to give you an advantage over others. That's what we're going to do here tonight. All right, members are part of something real special. I couldn't be any more proud to be on this journey with each and every single one of them. So I hope you guys are ready to roll your sleeves up and get down to business. If this is your first time hanging out, subscribe, smash the like button, turn on your notifications, make sure you never miss out on any of these live streams, because I drop golden nuggets, give you free lessons, education, trade ideas, commentary. All right, just totally for free. All right, so make sure you guys subscribe. What's up? What's up? Everyone I see typing away. Now, why should you listen to anything it is that I discuss on this channel? I'm glad you asked. It's not because I believe that I'm the world's greatest trader. It's simply because I was trained by professionals. My very first start was actually working on Wall Street right out of college, a firm called T3 Alpha Fund. While there, they had me go through a training program before I was allowed to touch $1 of the firm's money. And then shortly after that, 2008 happened. And that was the Great Recession. It was the huge stock market crash. But it's also the same year that I received one of the firm's Trader of the Year awards. You fast forward down, I'm the co-founder and the head trader at TTG. And along with my team of 8 other professional full-time trading mods and an over 30-person staff, we've helped thousands of members from all over the world to reach their goals. TTG has over 10,000 members in 114 different countries. Truly a global community here. We trade stocks, we trade options, we trade futures, we day trade, we swing trade, we scalp, we cover long-term portfolio investing as well. There is literally something for everybody here at True Trading Group. So like I said, if you guys are new, welcome, subscribe, and make sure you smash that like button, show some love, and turn on your notifications to make sure that you never miss out on anything that we talk about here. Okay. Now, before I go forward with tonight, I want to do every single person that's on this live stream right now that is not a member of True Trading Group. I want to give each and every single one of you, I want to do you guys a solid. I want to do you guys a favor. I want to make sure all of you understand and know what's what tonight. Okay. Because what we've been experiencing, I mean, just this past week was massive, right? This past week that we just had in TTG was an unbelievable week. And honestly, I don't expect you to just take my word for it because obviously you weren't there. So just real quick, show of hands, members of True Trading Group, do me a favor and type the number 1 if you guys are making money with TTG. If you guys are becoming better traders, just real quick, go ahead and type the number 1. Because I'm a big believer on whether or not you should join a trading community or sign up for a platform or some type of program like True Trading Group. I think that the best indicator of that is whether or not the members that are actually already a part of that program or part of that platform, are they actually making money? Are they successful? Are they green? Are they profitable? That's what I think matters the most. And that's why I think that you guys should pay attention to the people that you see typing the number 1 inside of chat, which are members of TTG that are telling you that they're making money, that were once just a viewer on this YouTube channel. I think you should really just listen to what they have to say, even more so sometimes than what I have to say, because they're your peers, right? They're the ones that were once on a live stream and now they decided that they're going to join True Trading Group. Now they're sitting here telling you they're actually making money. And at the end of the day, that's why we are all here, right? We're not here for fantasy football picks. We're not here to just admire the painting that hangs behind my head. We're not here to talk about the Yankees, right? We're here to make money. Okay. That is why you are on this live stream, is because you see what's going on. You know stocks are at all-time highs. You want to know how much longer can this really last. You want to know, is this a deck of cards that's all about to come crashing down? You see the quantum stocks and your buddy at work who owns OKLO and your other buddy at work that owns IONQ and your other buddy, your neighbor that owns RGTI, and you're wondering why the hell you don't, and is it too late for you to own them? And I understand that. I'm going to give you those answers here tonight. But I want to make sure everyone here that's not a member, I want to make sure you guys all understand and know what's what. I'm going to give you plenty of time because you guys can all have access to True Trading Groups and True Trading Group's platform right now for just 90 days for just $297. but listen to me very carefully, okay? After to this live stream, that price is going to be $397 for 90 days. So anyone that is here that is not a member of True Trading Group, I'm going to give you guys plenty of time, but when this live stream is over, we're going to be seeing $397 for a 90-day access to this platform. I usually do this, I normally don't talk about how to sign up for a membership at the beginning of this live stream. I usually do it a little bit later, okay? But I want to make sure that you guys all understand it. I want to make sure you all have ample time because the spots are limited and they are first come, first serve. We are allowing the next 15 people that sign up for True Trading Group to sign up for 90 days for $297. Okay, this is first come, first serve. It's going to be a race. After those 15 people sign up and after 15 spots are taken, okay, or midnight tonight, whichever happens first, that price will be $397. Want to be fully transparent. I just want everybody that's on this stream right now to be aware of that pricing change. So if you want to save yourself $100, go ahead and go to ttgoffer.com right now. They are first come, first serve. Everything on that page is included with your membership for 90 days. Okay. You're going to be getting access to Mari. Mari is the award-winning AI that received the Benzinga FinTech Award for Best AI Analysis Tool last year. And we are once again up for a couple of awards at this year's Benzinga FinTech Award show. So we'll keep you posted and we'll keep you guys updated on everything that's going on there. But you will have access to the core level, the core tier of Mari, so you guys can use our AI. It connects with your education, your charts, your news, all your indicators and tools. It connects it all into one intelligent system. You talk to this thing in just plain English. You don't need to memorize any complex prompts. You just talk to it. You get fast chart analysis, market context, and personalized insight and support for all of your trading. It is a trading co-pilot that you guys are going to have access to for 90 days for just $297. But then the price is going to go to $397. You get our entire curriculum, 18 courses of simplified and expanded upon version of the training that I received when I worked at the fund in New York. Okay. You're going to get access to our chat room, of course, all the trade alerts. The moderators and I share our screen with you. We trade with you live. If you can't be in front of your computer, don't sweat it. We have a mobile app that sends you real-time push notifications when our moderators enter and exit positions. So this way you can follow along with everything that we're doing, even if you're not in front of a computer. 82% of our members have a full-time job. So if they can do this, then so can you. You're going to get the watch list every day for all different styles of trading. We have a scalping, day trading, and swing trading watch list. You get Benzinga Pro's news feed, TradingView's premium charting software with real-time data, our video library that has over 2,000 hours of workshops and videos in there. You're going to get a free workshop on the first Wednesday of every month. You're going to get the trade ideas scanner, unusual options activity, options flow. Okay, it's all included for you guys. ttgoffer.com, $297 for 90 days. Okay, after 15 people join or we go to midnight tonight, that price will be $397 for 90 days. Okay, if you have any questions, send us a text message. We're fully transparent. We are an open book. Text us to 1-888-621-2127. Again, that phone number is 1-888-621-2127. Text that number if you guys have any questions at all. The phone number is at the bottom of your screen. Okay, if you guys need help signing up or whatever it is, just text that phone number. All right, again, go to ttgoffer.com. Everything you see on that page is included for $297. Okay, plain and simple. Done deal. All right, now let's kind of head things on over. I want to give you guys plenty of time. I want to make sure everybody's aware of the pricing change. This way, nobody can say I didn't tell them. Nobody can say I didn't warn them. This way, everybody's aware of the pricing change. This feels way too promotional to be a legit trading platform. I'll just ask members. Gabriel, I'm gonna ask members, and then Gabriel, you tell me if you think that this is a legit trading platform. Members of TTG, is True Trading Group a legit trading platform? Are you making money with True Trading Group? Yes or no? Members that are on this live stream. Gabriel, just don't even listen to my answer, brother. Okay, listen to what you're getting from Listen to what members of True Trading Group are going to say. So again, members that are on this live stream, we got about 1,500 people that are on this live. Okay, obviously not all of them are members, but those of you that are members, is True Trading Group a legit trading platform? Are you making money with TTG? Yes or no? Gabriel, I want you to pay attention to the response that you are seeing from members come across your screen. I want you to read the comments that you are seeing from your friends, your family members, your coworkers, and then you decide if you think that True Trading Group is a legitimate platform. See, that's part of the reason why I want to make sure that everybody's aware of that pricing change. Because I'm not trying to say, hey, join for the full year, let's, pay over $1,000 for a year membership. I'm not even saying that to you. I'm saying try True Trading Group for 90 days for $297 because I am convinced that if you do, you will want to become an annual member of TTG. You might even become a lifetime member of True Trading Group. A lot of our members, we have about 4,700 lifetime members in TTG. So yes, when I come on these live streams, yes, it is promotional. This is how we get new members, right? I actually joke around about this live stream. I call it an edumercial because I'm going to give you some fantastic information that you can actually make money with. I'm going to give you my trade ideas for the week. I'm going to go over some lessons. I'm going to give you my analysis, but I'm also going to tell you about the TTG platform. I'm going to tell you about what's included. I'm going to tell you about why I think we have over 10,000 members in 114 different countries. I'm going to tell you why we received the Benzinga FinTech Award for Best AI Analysis Tool. I'm going to tell you why we have a data partnership agreement directly with the NASDAQ. I'm going to tell you why all of those things are true. Doesn't mean that this is not a legitimate trading platform. A lot of our members have been here for many, many years. And that's the other thing that I feel like when you're deciding whether or not you should become part of a trading platform is, well, how long are members part of that community for it, right? Right? That's what I think. That's what I think. So let's actually do this. And then we're going to move on. I'm going to give you guys some of my trade ideas. Members of TTG. How many years have you been a member? If you guys are on this live stream, or just tell me how long have you been a member? How long have you been a member? Wow, TTG bought my time back and now lets me just work part-time instead of full-time. That's no gimmick, says Ghost Money. That's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Smooth Brain says it's honest. This isn't a hustle. So hey, read some of these comments now, Gabriel. Susie, 5 members. Joseph, over 2 years. Rick, 4 years. 6 years for Triple Take. Over 3 years for Bert. Wow. Phil, that's amazing. Phil's been a member for 3 weeks. After 1 week, he became a lifetime member. I think that says a lot. OK Trader, 4.5 years. Paul, 4 years. Manpreet, 4 years. Okay. Clary Girl, over 2 years. 3 years for Sherry Shilton. Under a year for Brian. 3 to 4 months here for Beto. Over 5 years for Boss Lady. So you have to, Gabriel, just ask yourself honestly, if you did, let's say just hypothetically speaking, you joined True Trading Group right now tonight. If you didn't make any money with us, or even worse, you lost money with us, you're not even going to stay after your 90 days are over. Never mind stay for and renew your annual membership. You're sure as hell not going to spend thousands of dollars to become a lifetime member. But if you do join us and you make several thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars, then you might decide, you know what, I'm going to stay here for life, and you're going to purchase a lifetime membership. Fair? I think so. That 90-day membership, guys, there's no automatic renewal on it. There's no automatic upgrade if you forget to cancel. So basically, sorry, I have an itch in my nose. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. If you want to stay with us after your 90 days are up, you have to physically and manually process a transaction to stay with us. It's not going to automatically renew or anything like that. So if you want to stay with us, you've got to do it yourself. So like I said, ttgoffer.com. Alice says, I've been a member for less than a month. It's definitely legit. It's awesome. Alice, welcome to the family. Less than 1 month in. I love to see it. Okay. So guys, folks, again, ttgoffer.com. It's $297 for 90 days. You get access to the AI, the award-winning AI and everything else. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to text us 1-888-621-2127. Okay, again, phone number should be right there, right at the bottom of your screen. You guys can text that number if you have any questions. All right. Wow, look at that. Alan says, life is a trip, man. The journey up until TTD was night and day. After joining TTD, my life changed, my mindset changed, and I'm still learning. I'm still growing. That's incredible. Just patience cases. By the way, we're not bots. Thank you. Thank you for that, the clarification, so that everybody understands. People that are not members here, they're not. Okay, you guys are not bots. You guys are part of the TTD fam for real. Oh, I love that, Phil. Change family to partners. That's my recommendation for what we should be called as partners. I love that. I love that, man. I love that. Phil, I'm so happy that you've been enjoying your time with us. Phil literally is 3 weeks, has been a member for 3 weeks. He bought a lifetime membership just after 1 week. If you're not a member and you think that this is all BS, I really don't blame you. Seriously, I don't, no hard feelings. I don't blame you at all. Most of this stuff, most of this stuff is. Most people that you see online are people that claim to be, gurus or whatever it is. Most people are full of shit. I trust me, I understand that. We know that, and that's why we have a low barrier to entry for people that are interested. You guys can join for $297 for 90 days. It's the best scam you're ever going to see, because my belief is, I'll give you a real low barrier to entry to get you into the door to become part of True Trading Group and use the tools and resources that are available to you with this platform, because I am so confident in this platform's ability to help you become successful, that I think you're going to stay once you guys become part of it. That's what it really comes down to, is once you actually see the platform, once you make some trades with us, once you use the tools, the resources, once you use the AI that's available, once you use all of these things, I'm confident you're going to see progress and you're going to see success in your trading. That's why we do it this way. That's why it's a low barrier to entry. And then it's like, okay, well, you're doing well with us. Now you want to become an annual member. You want to become a lifetime member. Then we have other things that we can, as a business, because True Trading Group is a business. Don't get it twisted. We have over 30 employees. We have over 10,000 customers all over the world, right? This is a business, but the business is only successful if our members are successful. If nobody makes money at True Trading Group, the business is going to fail. Then business is booming. As you guys can see, over 10,000 members all across the world, partnerships with the NASDAQ and Benzinga, work closely with OpenAI and partnerships with TradingView and Unusual Whale partnership that we have with Unusual Whales for all of their data. I mean, none of that's possible if we don't have a successful platform that is growing, that's engaging, and has members with thousands of members that are actually seeing success. Otherwise, none of those companies would work with us. That's the truth. Okay? So let's do it. All right, it's going to be a big week. All right, so again, ttgoffer.com. You guys got the phone number there if you want to text us with any questions. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about kind of where we've been. As futures are basically flat. We're red right now in futures, but it's small. It's small. I mean, this has been just an absolutely epic rally. And I'll give you guys, let me kind of fill you in a little bit on the backdrop, kind of the macro backdrop right now. We've got our first rate cut ever, with stocks at all-time highs, GDP above 3%, and core CPI above 3%. Okay? First time you've ever had it with all three of those things together. But I'll give you some other fun facts that history can tell us. 20 of the last 20 times that the Fed has cut rates with stocks at all-time highs, the market has been green 12 months later, all 20 times. And not just a little bit, by an average of about 14%. This is also one of the most incredible rallies, 5-month rallies that we have ever seen in history. Off that April low, the S&P is up over 30% in just 5 months. There have only been 5 instances since 1975 that the S&P has gone up over 30% in just a 5-month time period. Of those 5 instances, all 5 of them, the markets were higher 12 months later, not by a little bit, but by an average of 18%. Now, that would insinuate that history is going to tell us that this market's not done going higher. That might be hard for some people to kind of grasp as you say, oh, but inflation is still higher and the labor market is weakening. But there's an age-old saying on Wall Street, and that saying is do not fight the Fed. Don't fight the Fed when they're raising rates, and don't fight the Fed when they are cutting rates. But here's something that I think is really interesting. Of the last 22 times that the Fed cut rates with stocks at all-time highs, like I told you, 20 out of 20, we were higher 12 months later. But half the time, 50% of the time, we were red 1 month later. Red 1 month later. I do think it's entirely possible that this rally that we have seen off those April lows, I do think it's entirely possible that this rally could continue to move to the upside. We've also been seeing over the last couple of weeks, dating back to the very beginning of August and then the very beginning of September when we had all those revised job numbers. It really started in August, and then again we got more revisions there in September. We've seen pretty aggressive buying on an institutional level from hedge funds. Hedge funds kind of came into this rally underpositioned. There were a lot of hedges that were on. They weren't really at a max net long position. They were net long, but they weren't max net long. We've seen a lot of buying on the institutional side. So you're seeing a lot of the institutional community, you're seeing a lot of hedge funds now begin to catch up to this. And with the Fed beginning to cut rates, you just have to pay attention to the job market and pay attention to inflation. I think you got to pay attention mostly to the job market. We're going to get more, again, jobless claims numbers on Thursday. You need a PCE inflation there on Friday. And every day leading up to that information, you're going to get Fed members that are going to be speaking, including Jerome Powell. So they can discuss a little bit with us now since we've had the Fed meeting and then since they gave us a 25 basis point cut. They can begin to discuss what they think about the next Fed meeting. Are we going to get another rate cut? What do they think about the job market? What do they think about inflation? Right? We're going to be able to hear from them now individually instead of just hearing Jerome Powell speak for the group. So we can get a lot of volatility this week as Fed members begin to kind of tell us what they think and what they're seeing while the markets are sitting here up at all-time highs. And I feel like you probably have a lot of people out there that are either on the complete opposite sides of the spectrum. You have some people that have stocks at all-time highs and they are very, very complacent and they're very comfortable and they're not ready whatsoever for any type of an increase in volatility. And when that increase in volatility comes, they will be caught off guard. So that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is the person that has not taken advantage of this rally whatsoever and believes it's too good to be true, thinks it's a house of cards, and is waiting for the markets to crash at any given moment. And there's not really a whole lot of people that are in between. And I'm going to sit here right now and I'm going to tell you, if you guys are complacent right now with markets up here at all-time highs, you have to have a better plan based on everything that I just explained to you. You have to have a better plan than just, markets at all-time highs. So, okay, then what? We're going into the end of the year, and I think it's entirely possible that we can have a pullback here before the year is over. I think it's probable that we can have a pullback here before the year is over. But then I still remain bullish. I remain bullish because I don't want to be selling. I don't want to be shorting into the backdrop of the Federal Reserve cutting rates. If inflation continues to not move higher, if inflation does not accelerate, inflation has ticked higher over the last couple of months because you're finally seeing the tariffs work their way through. And tariffs take several months to actually work through the economy and actually work into those inflation numbers. But I expect probably we might even climb higher for another month or two But then I expect it to cut for inflation kind of roll back over as you head into 2026. So I don't think inflation is going to accelerate in 2026. I think inflation is going to moderate in 2026. It still might be sticky, but I don't think it's going to continue to move higher. And then you have to just pay attention and watch the labor market. The labor market's undoubtedly has softened. It has undoubtedly softened, but it hasn't broken. And as long as that remains somewhat stable and that unemployment rate fluctuates from maybe 4.3 to 4.5, but does not go up to 5%, as long as you stay in like the low to mid fours, I think that the economy can perfectly hang on as the Fed goes through rate cuts. And I think earnings have held up much better than people had expected. And I still remain bullish. There's a couple of headwinds. There's a couple of catalysts that might change my bullishness going into next year that I'll talk to you guys about, as we get closer to the end of the year. I publish a stock market outlook report every single year from members of TTG. I publish it either the last week of December or the first week of January of every year. And in that outlook report, it's a very long, in-depth analysis and report that I put together on what I think the market's going to do the following upcoming year. What are the positions that I'm going to be buying? If anything, am I selling? What sectors of the market do I like best? Which ones do I like least? I talk to you guys about all of that in my market outlook report. Once we get closer to the end of the year, I'll start talking to you guys about, the headwinds and everything else that I potentially see for next year. And what are the things I want to look out for that would make me start to sell some stuff. But for right now, don't fight the Fed. It's the oldest saying on Wall Street is don't fight the Fed. And if the Fed's going to start cutting rates and they're going to continue cutting rates, which is the key, they have to continue, and inflation moderates, and if you get the job market stabilizes, that's not a backdrop that I want to be short. Okay, that's a backdrop that I would still want to be bullish on. I know that might sound a little bit crazy, but I think you could experience a little bit of a melt up. So for what it is, for what it's worth, I think that's something that we should that everyone here should kind of be thinking about. Okay. So as we get into here now, coming into this week, let's talk about the SPY. Let's talk about kind of where we are. Here was your Fed day when you got this, this wide range candle with this big tail. That was Wednesday's Fed day, and the market's traded higher the next 2 days, and we've just been kind of consolidating. You have a little bit of a double bottom here from Thursday and Friday that sits right there around 660.5. It's not a major level. It's really not that significant of a level in my eyes. Right now, for me, the big level of support that everyone should have drawn on the screen is 654.50. Okay, 654.50. That's the key support level. That is a level that if that level were to break, then I would say we can expect a little bit more downside. Probably go back and touch this 50-day moving average, which is that dark blue line that you guys see on my screen. But 654.50, that's going to be the key support level. That's a little bit of a ways away. You're talking about $9 to the downside. But that's the level that I would say, hey, if that level breaks, I think you got to start to be careful. If we break the 660.50, which is the double bottom from Thursday and Friday, that's not a major level. You can break that. We can drop back into the high 650s and then still consolidate and kind of trade sideways a bit and not be like, hey, it's time to go short. All right. So that's the 654.50. That's going to be the big level for me, that if that level gets broken, that's the low of the day also from the Fed day. That's a level that if it gets broken, that's the one that I want to be, okay, let's maybe start flipping. Let's start to go short on a couple of things. Okay. So those are going to be your key levels. And you have just all-time high that just sits up here, right? Just all-time high just sits up here right around 664.5, 665. So you have one resistance level, all-time high. You got your support here at 660.5. Okay. So that's it right there for the SPY. Let's talk about a position that I'm already in. And this is for members of TTG. Obviously, congratulations. It was a monster week for us, mostly because of OKLO and NNE. So we've been in some swing trades here on OKLO and NNE. We were in OKLO from $84.97. That stock hit $138 on Friday. We have since exited that position. I'm no longer in OKLO. That final profit came off the table last week. That was a huge trade for us as the stock experienced a major short squeeze to a new all-time high for OKLO. Again, I am no longer in that position. I took final profits off on that one last week, but I did hold on to a piece of NNE. NNE, this is another swing trade that we got into last week, and I'm still holding a piece of it. I'm long from 36. Stock got to 46 on Friday. We took a bunch of profit off on Friday into those mid 40s, and I'm still holding on to a piece. because NNE actually has the largest short position of those nuclear names. Okay, I think around maybe 30% of the float is short there on NNE, and you got your all-time high sitting up here at 48. So I just said to myself, you know what? NNE is a laggard, right? It's a laggard. OK Low's already made the new all-time high. It's already squeezed. But NNE had with that big short position, and they got a contract that was announced a week ago. They got a contract announced a week ago that they actually have a deal with the U.S. Air Force. And that kind of got this stock going. It was kind of the basis behind me going along this stock. And I'll show you guys just a quick little lesson here just on levels. When we take a look at this is a real clean cut breakout. Okay, you have a technical level of what used to be support. You broke underneath it. Then it became resistance. Okay, and then you have this dark blue line. That's the 50-day moving average as well. And then here's the day that the news was announced about the deal with the Air Force. You got a nice increase in volume. You broke through that resistance level, right? You broke through that resistance level, and then you pulled back into retest that support level, and it became support. I got long right here on this day at $36, right back in front of this support level. We tested that support level on Fed day. It held, and then all hell breaks loose. So this has been just an unbelievable trade for us. We took profits here in front of this support level, which you guys can see right here. We took profits also then in front of this support level. And then we took more profits off as we got closer up to that all-time high. And I'm still holding on to a piece of it. So these are two really big trades for us guys last week, but I still am long a piece of NNE. And with the way that these stocks traded last week, I mean, you have to have them on your watch list. Again, I'm completely out of OKLO, but I still have a small piece of NNE just to see if we can break through the all-time high. And if that short position gets squeezed out and we break 48, I'll be looking to sell up into the 50s. If we double top at 48, I'll probably, final take profit. I'll put like a trailing stop, or no, not a trailing stop, but I'll put a stop loss probably around like 42, 41. So for my final take profit on the remaining position that I have on NNE. All right, so OK Low's off. NNE, I'm still in a piece of that one. Another stock that has a pretty decent short position on it that I want to pay attention to that's right near its all-time high for this week is TEM. You guys all probably remember Tempest AI. This is the one that Nancy Pelosi disclosed her position back there in January, and the stock went completely haywire. This is a fan favorite of Kathy Wood also, but you have a nice resistance level up here at $91. There's 91 all-time high, and then there's 91 all-time high. Little double top there from the last 2 weeks, and then you have this resistance back there from February. If Tempest opens, okay, we rejected off of 91 on Friday. Okay, we rejected off 91 on Friday. Folks, we have to welcome Jacob, Neil, Becca, Jerry, and Nakuj. Jacob, Neil, Becca, Jerry, and Nakuj. Welcome to the TTG family. We now only have 10 of those spots left. I told you they are first come, first serve. The next 10 people that join will get 90-day access to the platform for just $297. Then the price goes to $397. So Jacob, Neil, Becca, Jerry, and Nakuj, welcome to the TTG family. We have 10 of these spots now remaining. If you have any questions, text us 1-888-621-2127. Okay. Also, big shout out to Dustin H., brand new member of the TTG development team. So guys, give a big shout out to Dustin. Dustin H. is the brand new member of True Trading Group's development team. Dustin, thank God you are here, brother, because Adam needed the help. Okay? Adam needs the help. So Dustin, welcome to the team, man. Welcome to the team. All right. So now as we get back up here, guys, we take a look at this TEM. Now what you'll see is we rejected off of 91 on Friday, right? You see we rejected off of, we couldn't break through. We tried to break through it. We couldn't pull back to the downside. What I'm looking for on Monday is very, very simple. If TEM gaps up on Monday, if you see TEM at $89.50, $90. I'm going to go long TEM, and I'm going to look for TEM to break through that 91 all-time high and put in a candle that looks something that looks like that. But I'm only doing this if this stock gaps up tomorrow. We close at 88 and a quarter. I'm looking for north of 89. If we open north of 89, 89 and a half, closer to 90, I will be going long. My stop loss will probably be somewhere around 88. And we're going to look for a break of 91 resistance. And we're going to look for Tempest to join in on the short squeeze that is happening all over the place and just see if we can break 91. If you break 91, we should be good to go. But again, I am only taking that trade long if I get that gap up. If we don't get that gap up, I'm not doing anything. All right, that's Tempest. Okay. Microsoft. Microsoft is testing a very big level. I am neutral on this, but we're going to trade the level. Okay. So what you'll see is after Microsoft had that huge gap up on their huge earnings beat, you can see the stock started to find support at $520, $519 or so, right? So you guys see this? We've since rallied back to the north side to retest this level, and it is acting as resistance. So what I'm just looking for here is if Microsoft was to break above this level, I'm going to start thinking about possible longs, but I want to be real cautious here. I want to be real cautious here of a failed break and a candle setup that looks something like that. So we're not going to jump the gun on this one. We're not going to be early on this. Like Tempest, I'll be long prior to the break of 91. Microsoft, I'm not going to be long prior to the break of 519, 520. I will be waiting for that level to break, let it get cleared out, go to 522, 523, give me some really big volume, and then I'll buy a pullback into 521. Stop loss will be under 519. All right, that's going to be Microsoft. Similar setup with a major level, Circle. Okay. Now I'm leaning towards the short side on this, but again, I'm coming into this a little bit neutral with, with playing this level. I'm looking for failed breaks of 148 to 150. Now, what you'll see here on Circle is Circle had a gap up back in June, and then you had 3 days worth of support at the gap up, so that gap entry point. You pull back into that in August, and it became support. You then broke underneath it in August, and ever since you broke underneath it, it was resistance, resistance. Here's resistance again. Here's resistance on Wednesday. And then here's resistance again on Friday. Okay. So what I'm looking for here on Circle is we're going to be neutral. We're going to wait for this level to be interacted with, and then we're going to see what happens. If you just blast right through that level, okay, I'll buy the pullback into 150. But what I'm really looking for, more so than anything, is try to break 150 and then fail, right? Try to break 150 and then put in a candle that looks something similar to this. We got to welcome Jay. Jay just joined. That means we're now down to 9 of these spots. 9 spots now remain. Everybody welcome Jay. TTGoffer.com. Everybody welcome Jay. TTGoffer.com. 9 spots left. Text us with questions. 1-888-621-2127. If I get a rejection off of 149, 150, guys, I will go ahead and take that trade short on Circle and look for Circle to pull back down into the 130s. Okay. So we are going to look for some rejection there. I'm not going to just step in front of it. I'm going to wait for that level to be interacted with and then see if we reject, if we fail, or if you just kind of break right through it. Okay. But we're going to be looking at that level 148 to 150. That's that zone. That's that level for Circle. And then sticking with the crypto related names like Circle, we're going to go ahead and focus on actual crypto. Okay. We're going to start to talk here about Ethereum. Now, Ethereum has been forming a bull flag. And it's forming that bull flag above the prior all-time high. What I think may happen, I'm going to tell you right now what I think may happen. I think you may have a situation where Ethereum could break underneath the bull flag and make everybody feel like the trade has failed. Because you're going to have a lot of inexperienced traders that are just going to trade the flag or the pennant, whatever you want to call it. And when it breaks underneath it, this is also ETHA. This is the ETF. This is not actually spot price of Ethereum. So your chart might be a little bit different. I'm just showing you the equity of the ETF, ETHA. If you break underneath and fail out of this bull flag, you might get a lot of traders who are going to give up on that setup. And then you drop right back down into the previous all-time high. And this dark blue line is the 50-day moving average. And that, my friends, becomes the long. And then you get a nice bounce off that level. And then you can get a rally there in Ethereum. So I'm looking for Ethereum to actually pull back first, retest prior all-time high, find support, and then rally. So I'm actually going to try to catch this both ways. Okay. I'm going to use the ETHU. That's the 2-time leverage ETF on Ethereum. We're going to use that as our tool here on how we're going to trade this, because if you get a down move first, then ETHU should do something like this, drop down into this previous resistance level, and then find support, and then from there bounce and then go. All right, so I'm going to be trading ETHU because there's a lot more volatility there. You don't have to trade ETHU. You can trade just Ethereum, or you can trade ETHA, which is the ETF. Okay, that's going to be far less volatile than ETHU. ETHU is 2 times leverage. ETHA is just, regular plain Ethereum ETF. But that's what I'm looking for on those 2 different setups. Okay, so it's going to be short side first, then find support quickly, and then flip it around for the long. And then similar type of concept as we kind of talk here about Bitcoin. Bitcoin kind of is finding, and this is not the actual spot Bitcoin. This is actually IBIT, which is just an ETF of Bitcoin. We're finding resistance here, and I'm just looking for a similar pullback first, then find support and go. So if that's the case, if we're going to pull back first, you might get another short opportunity here on MicroStrategy. We made really good money on MicroStrategy, guys. The end of August into the middle of September, we shorted, MicroStrategy back into this level of 360. 360 used to be a huge support level for MicroStrategy, right? You guys can all see that, okay? You broke underneath it there in August, bounced back, and then it became resistance. So we took the short on that money back, on that move back up to the upside, and then we just faded it out for a week and a half. We just faded it back out down into the 320s, and we were able to just peel our profits off down here at 320 from the short up there in the 350s. So it was a really great trade for us there on MicroStrategy, but we're still underneath the resistance level. We tried to get above it on Thursday, and on Thursday it became resistance, right? You weren't able to get above it on Thursday. So if you get a pullback here, and now we have a very obvious support level that's set up at 320. If you get a pullback first on Bitcoin, you can see MicroStrategy drop back down into 320. So I'm going to be watching this. We're going to try to maybe take a short in the high 330s, the low 340s, and we're going to try to get this back down into the low 320s. And we'll see if we get that price action. Let's see if we get a pullback first on crypto, and then we'll quickly be scaling out of that short position. And then we'll look for Bitcoin and Ethereum to hold support levels and then move back to the upside, and we can try to flip it back over and try to go long. Okay? You guys got it? So there you have it, guys. There's the setup. There's the setups, rather, I should say. That's my focus going to be coming into the week. Now, obviously, my watch list will vary. My watch list could change throughout the week. Obviously, tomorrow, I'm going to, in the morning, we'll see what stocks have news. I'll take a look around. I'll see, if anything happens in the overnight future session. Right now, we're just down 0.1%. So it's a very, very muted type of futures open. There's not really too much movement. So we're going to take a look and we're going to see what happens tomorrow morning. Anybody have any questions? We got to welcome I don't know how to pronounce that. Janier, Seb, and Robert. Janier, Seb, and Robert. Janier, Seb, and Robert. Okay. Welcome to the TTG fam. We have 6 of these spots now remain. 6 of these spots left, guys. Again, the price is $297. Okay, price is $297. After 6 more people join, it will be $397. They are first come, first serve. So go to ttgoffer.com. Everything on that page is included. All right. There's no automatic renewal. There's no automatic upgrade or anything like that after your 90 days are up. If you want to stay with us, you have to manually process. That transaction. And that also includes anyone that wants to come back. If you guys used to be a member of True Trading Group and you want to come back, you have to send us a text message. We just have to whitelist your account since you used to be a member. So send a text to 1-888-621-2127. So if you used to be a member, or even if you used to be a trial member and you guys would like to join or you want to come back home, text 1-888-621-2127 and we'll get you guys hooked up. All right. 6 of those spots now remain. What about trading BM&R instead of ETHU? You could. You definitely could. We are getting some nice increasing volume here on BM&R, and you have a nice support level down there. I'd say in probably around 56, right? 56 is a decent little support level. I'll just zoom in. I'll show you. So 56 used to be support. Then you broke underneath it, and it was resistance. Now you broke back above it. So on any pullback, let's see if it's support. So if we think Ethereum might pull back first, then that might give you BM&R back into this support level, right? Back into that support level. And then that level can hold support, and then we can move back to the upside. So if you're going to look to trade BM&R instead, okay, Gustavo, I would say 56 would be the level that you should focus on. All right. Anybody else have any questions? Any questions? Anything that I talked about? Any of the stocks that I just went over? What do I think about silver stocks? I kind of feel like you missed the boat a little bit. Silver and gold have had massive, massive rallies. Like First Majestic Silver is one that I'm familiar with. You know what? Honestly, you know what, Kaibo? First Majestic Silver, just to give you just an example, this is actually a nice looking chart. And I want to play this out for you here. So you used to have support here back in 21 and 22 at around 975. That got broken in 2022. You rallied back up into it at the end of 22 and it became resistance, right? Then you rallied back into this level here this year and it was resistance just until 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, you broke through that resistance level with a massive increase in volume. And then you pulled back down into that level last week and it confirmed support. Now you're back to the upside. I think AG has more room. I think AG has room to 1150. Okay. I would say for AG, that's, you're talking about silver companies. I'd say AG has room to 1150. How do you think the H-1B news will impact tech companies? I don't really think it's going to in any meaningful way. I really don't think that's going to impact the big tech companies. I don't think it's really going to impact them in any meaningful way. I don't think you're going to see a movement of Apple, Amazon, Meta, Nvidia, AMD. I don't think you're going to see a movement in the share price because of H1B. I don't think that's going to have any impact on the share price of those stocks. Continuation on Apple or a pullback? Great question. Apple was actually on our watch list on Friday. It was actually one of our top long ideas. I think you're looking at continuation, Dennis. So I've got resistance here up around 249.5 to 250. Okay. 249.5 to 250. And I think that's where you're headed. Your support level is 241. Your resistance 249.5. And I think there's a much greater chance you push to 249.5 than there is you go back into the 230s. Thoughts on Oracle? Man, I love Oracle. It's in the long-term portfolio. Just that huge gap up on just those ridiculous numbers. I think the stock has to go through a consolidation phase, Sean. I think people might be tempted to try to play a setup here. Like you might be tempted to play, oh, look, there's a double bottom. Oh, look, there's the 9 EMA. Some people might even go as far to say, look, descending triangle, right? And now you're breaking out of that descending triangle, and then that means, you move back to the upside. But I just feel like this was such a massive move higher after their earnings. Sometimes when you get such a massive move higher like that, the stock goes through a period of consolidation and digestion where old longs begin to take profit and new longs come in to buy, and the stock just kind of bounces around like this and doesn't really go anywhere. I think you have a potential setup for that with Oracle. So it's not something that I'm looking to trade right now. If I see something otherwise, though, I will go ahead and take a look. I just don't want to get overly excited of like, let's go long, let's go. And then it just kind of moves $5 or $6 and then pulls back to the downside. So I just want to be cautious of a possible consolidation after such a large gap up. My opinion on a U.S. government deal with China on the TikTok operational split or buyout. My thoughts, I don't really have thoughts on that, Tilnak. I don't really have thoughts on that. I mean, whatever U.S. companies get their hands on that, I think it's going to benefit them. But I don't know the details yet of the deal. So I can't really, how can I don't know the details of the deal yet. So once I know the details of the deal, I know what companies and everything that's involved and everything else, I'll maybe be able to give a little bit more insight and be able to give you a better answer. But just from where that whole situation sits right now, I don't really have any thoughts on it. All right. Palantir to 190. I mean, probably, Phil. I sold Palantir. So Palantir was just a 2-day swing for me. I got long Palantir at 172 on Thursday, and I sold out of it at 184 on Friday. So I am done with that Palantir trade. I'll just pull this back. I'll just show you guys. So let me let's go through the lesson here. This will be a lesson instead of like hey, this is a trade I'm getting into. This is a trade I've already completed and executed, but let's go over the lesson. 172, very key level here. You have the gap up on earnings, right? You have that big gap up on earnings, and you have this double bottom right at the gap entry point where you were finding support. And then it found support there again on August 18th. And then finally that level broke. When that level broke, you have this massive increase in volume that confirms the break of that support level. When the stock then bounces back up into that level, it then becomes resistance. Then on Thursday, we found out, okay, that we had some news there. Palantir got a AI deal with the UK. That broke Palantir through that 172 resistance level on very heavy volume. So let me go to a 3-minute chart, and I'll just zoom into the day that we actually broke above the 172. So there's the 172 level that I have drawn on my screen here. And you see we broke through it. We pulled back in. And when we pulled back into it, okay, at the time, this was my entry. Okay, at the time we pulled back in, I got long Palantir right back here, 172 and change, right inside of this green candle. And that was because we had the 172 level that I just showed you on the daily chart. This teal blue line, that's the 9 EMA. So the 9 EMA also lines up with my level from the daily chart. And then when I drew out my Fibonacci levels, I drew my Fibonacci levels out, and that was also the 50 Fibonacci level. So the 50 Fibonacci level lines up with the 9 EMA, which also lines up with the 172 level from the daily chart. So on that pullback, I went ahead, I took the trade long. Now that we're back above that level of resistance, we expect it to become support. We pulled back in, we took the trade long. The stock had a beautiful move to the upside there on Thursday. We took profits up into the 170s, high 170s. We held on to some of that position for a follow through the next day. And the next day, we got a big rally up to 184. And I went ahead and I got flat my position right here at 184. Okay, I took some profits earlier in the day too, but then I got flat, totally flat at 184. Okay, the high of the day is like 184 and a half. All right, but I'm no longer in that position. That was the trade, and that was the setup there on Palantir. Very straightforward setup. It was a beautiful setup. It was a technical catalyst with a fundamental catalyst, and that's always what we look for. So, when you guys have joined True Trading Group, you'll learn, A+ setups. Really, trading is all about identifying high probability situations and putting yourself on the right side of that probability. One of the highest probability setups that you'll ever be able to find is when you have a fundamental news catalyst that coincides with a technical catalyst. So the technical catalyst for Palantir was a break back above the 172 support. So there's support. Then you broke it. Then it became resistance. Okay. So the technical side was we broke above 172 resistance. Okay. That was the technical side. But you did it with news. So you got a fundamental catalyst with the technical. That's going to be, that's the highest probability setup that you're going to be able to find. And we nailed it. We absolutely nailed it. We capitalized on these things big time. Xavier, great question. Thoughts on quantum stocks this week? Xavier, I wish I knew, brother. These quantum stocks have gone absolutely bonkers. It's a short squeeze. That's all this is. These are very, very, very heavily shorted stocks. They have had massive moves. If you do not own these stocks already and you're thinking about buying them now, I honestly, Xavier, I just hope you respect the honesty, man. These stocks have had huge moves. I sure as hell don't want to short them, but I also don't want to go long. For me, the easy move has already happened. Sure, these stocks are so heavily shorted, you might get more of a short squeeze. Could these stocks go higher? Yes. The whole point of a short squeeze is that it goes higher than anybody expects it to go. That's what a short squeeze is, right? But these stocks are extended like crazy. The RSI on QBTS is 95. It's 95. The RSI and RGTI is 90. The RSI on QUBT is 81. The RSI on IONQ is 91. These stocks are extremely overbought. They've gone parabolic. I'm not chasing these stocks. That does not mean they can't go higher because it's the middle of a short squeeze, and trying to predict the top of a short squeeze is a very dangerous thing to do. So I think the easy move happened last week. I don't know if this week that move is going to be that easy. So that's all I can give you there, man. All right. I would never recommend anybody goes, let's go long these stocks on Monday. I would never, ever. all these stocks can go up 50% tomorrow. I don't care. I still would say there's no way that I would buy those stocks on Monday. That's just me. That's just me. I don't want to buy the tops of this thing. Anybody else have any other questions? Questions. Energy stocks. How much is a yearly membership? So Knife of Life, I don't know if you're already a member, but if you're not a member yet, forget about the annual. Just do the 90-day. And then, if you decide after 90 days, you decide after 90 days that you want to become a member for the annual, or at some point during your 90 days, we'll hook you up. So we credit you what you've already paid for the 90 days. If you want info on an annual membership, if anybody wants info on an annual membership, okay, let's put it this way. Knife of Life and anybody else, if you want info on an annual membership, send a text message with your name and your email address right now. Okay, see the phone number you guys see on the screen? 1-888-621-2127. Text that number right now with your name and email address if you want information on an annual membership. Chiefs or Giants tonight? I mean, I'm a Giants fan, Dennis, but it's definitely the Chiefs. It's definitely the Chiefs. Could you imagine the Chiefs go 0-3? I mean, the Chiefs are not that good this year. I didn't think they were really all that. I was surprised last year. I didn't think they were that good last year. I was surprised that they got as far as they did last year. But I really don't think that the Chiefs are that good this year. But I am surprised they're 0-2. And I do not think they're going to go 0-3. Giants suck. So let me get back to Bert's question. Was asking about like LEU. More upside on these. It's tough, man. These stocks are so extended. Like Bloom Energy's RSI is 87. The stocks they've gone parabolic. So maybe a little more upside and then a pullback towards the second half of the week. I'd say a little more upside and a pullback the second half of the week. It looks like a bull flag is forming on open. Can it hold true? It's sloppy. That's really sloppy. I don't like that bull flag, Mark. This is a sloppy bull flag. And not all bull flags are created equal. And remember, trading is all about probability. When it comes to quality of setup, bull flags, what you want them to look like is as follows. So there's the flagpole, right? Move to the upside. Then I read this almost more as a double top than I do a bull flag. And then you get this, you get the pullback, right? And then you do this, lower high, and you do this, right? And you say there's your bull flag, right? But there's one very, very, very important aspect of a bull flag, and it's the volume. So what you want to see volume-wise of a bull flag is when this flagpole is created, you want the volume to be very heavy when that flagpole is created. And then when the flag forms, okay, you want significantly lower volume, okay, during the creation of the flag. And then when the stock breaks, let me do this. Okay, and then when the stock breaks out of the bull flag, that is when you want heavy volume again. Okay. So the volume matters on a bull flag as far as quality. You want heavy volume when the pole is created, low volume on the flag, high volume on the break out of the flag. Now, what you'll see here, okay, if you look at open, right, you say, okay, here's the flagpole. Well, here's this big surge in volume, right? Well, that's a good thing. But then we tried to break that high right here on Wednesday. And when you tried to break that high on Wednesday, you got a really big volume surge and it rejected. Not to listen, this does not mean this stock still can't do this and squeeze, right? This is you've got a big short position on this stock as well. You have a real nice support level down here, right underneath $9. Okay, that's going to be structured from last week and the week prior. But you also have the 9 EMA. This teal blue line on my screen, that's the 9 EMA. And every single time this stock has touched this 9 EMA, okay, for the last month and a half, the stock has moved higher. So you have this beautiful support level here at this 9 EMA dating back to the beginning of August. So you can pull back down into this level, right, touch that 9 EMA, and then squeeze everybody back to the upside and then break out higher and do something like this. But that doesn't make that a clean bull flag. So for me, when I'm taking a look at this, I say, okay, this is not really, I'm not reading this as a bull flag. I read this right now as a double top that traders are going to short. And if this stock does not break 875 on the double top, then shorts probably get squeezed and you probably break out through this pivot top and you probably get a short squeeze. But I don't read it as a bull flag. And those are the reasons why. Okay, I hope that helps. All right, any other questions, guys? No. All right, folks. Well, guys, again, we've got 6 spots left. It's going to be 6 more spots or midnight tonight, whichever happens first. Okay. Then the price goes to $397 for 90 days. Oh, we have to welcome Gerardo. We have to welcome Gerardo. Now there's 5 spots left. Okay, 5 spots left. We got to welcome Gerardo. Guys, there's 5 spots left for 90 days for $297. It includes the AI, right? The award-winning AI from the Benzinga FinTech Awards. You guys get that for 90 days included. All right, everything else you see on ttgoffer.com, everything there included for 90 days, just $297. After the next 5 people join, that price goes to $397. Right? That price is going to $397. You guys have any questions? There's Gerardo. My pleasure, man. Don't thank me. I welcome you to the TTG family, my man. Everybody welcome Gerardo to the TTG fam. If anybody has any questions, or if you guys used to be a member, used to be a trial member, you must send us a text message, 1-888-621-2127, so we can help you guys out and get you hooked up for 90 days for just $297. We have one more question. Jose says, can you look at CoreWeave? I will certainly look at CoreWeave for you, brother. Very low conviction setup here for me on CoreWeave. Very low conviction setup on CoreWeave. So one thing that I will say to you, Jose, and anybody else, I think somebody else asked me about CoreWeave too. I think I saw a comment before. Somebody else asked me about CoreWeave. What I will say to you guys is this, okay? Every time you look at a chart, it's okay for you to say, I don't have conviction long. I don't have conviction short. I'm not going to trade it. That's the way I feel about CoreWeave. Right? That's how I feel about CoreWeave. The trade for CoreWeave, right? I'll show you where the trade was. The trade for CoreWeave was right here. That was the trade for CoreWeave. Okay. And I'll show you why. So this used to be a support level for CoreWeave. Then you broke underneath it there in August. Then it became resistance, became resistance, became resistance. Then you gapped up. You had a huge gap up on CoreWeave. Right? Yeah, we crushed this trade 2 weeks ago. So we made some really good money on CoreWeave 2 weeks ago. But then once you gapped above this level, right? You pulled back in to retest it, and then it became support. See that nice little hammer tail? See that nice strong hammer tail off of that support level? So that going long on that day and then holding into the gap up that followed and the price action higher over the next couple of days, that was the trade on CoreWeave. Now, I don't really necessarily see a really strong setup here because you have a minor level here in the low 130s. Okay, and we topped out at 130 on Friday. And it's a minor level. It's not a major level, but I don't really see a lot of structure here. What I like better is they have a huge level up at 148. I love that. Big level up there at 148. So what I like to do, guys, and what you'll notice in my trading and what I teach all of our members and what you guys will see, like what you will notice from experienced traders that have experience will take a look at charts. And they will determine a major level versus a minor level. And there's different characteristics and different traits that will classify one as minor and classify another as major. We can go over that another time. I teach you guys that stuff when you guys join True Trading Group. But when I identify a major level, that's where my trades take place. My entries are around major levels. My stop losses are around major levels. My profit targets are minor levels. Right now, CoreWeave is not near any major levels. So for now, it's a non-trade for me. Once CoreWeave begins to interact with a more clear, strong major level, then I'll look to execute and I'll look to trade on it. I don't like to kind of diddle in the middle. I don't like to just kind of see a boat that's just shooting downstream and try to jump onto it as it's going. I like to see a boat that's docked at the dock and it's about to take off, and I'm going to get on it while it's not moving at the dock. And then when it's going to, when it sets out for sail, that's when I'm going to really enjoy the ride. I'm not going to try to jump on something that's already just, hauling ass right down the river. Much greater chance you're going to fall into the water that way. So, I like to position myself around major levels, and I really don't see one right now on CoreWeave where the stock is close to. So for me, CoreWeave is a non-trade. I hope that helps. All right. So that's it, folks. All right, guys. Again, if you're interested in an annual membership, we will give you guys a deal on an annual membership. If you're interested, you can send a text with your name and email address to 1-888-621-2127. Otherwise, you guys can go to ttgoffer.com. You can sign up for 90 days for just $297. Well, there's 5 of those spots left, and that price is $397 for jump. So jump on it now. That's ttgoffer.com. Okay, that's it, folks. Have a wonderful rest of your night. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. My TT fam, we had a big week last week. Let's keep that momentum rolling this week. If you guys have not yet done so, subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and show some love. I will see you all tomorrow. Let's go Giants. Kickoff is in 19 minutes. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Take